Good morning. How are you getting on? Welcome to Coach Gav Live, episode 69, with me, your host, Coach Gav from Kildare Strength and Fitness. So this is the actual topic I was trying to record on yesterday's one, episode 68, that I constantly kept getting kind of buffed back on because just numerous issues just kept popping up, and to me that was kind of a signal that that wasn't the right day for that story. It was probably also a signal that I needed to get my phone looked at to make sure the signal was all right on it. So anyways, we ended up covering a different story last night about how not to wait for things to be perfect before we actually took action on them. And so today I want to talk to you about Super Bowl 51. So the Super Bowl is the end of this. It's the Champions League final for American football, okay? And there was one last weekend, Super Bowl 52, which unfortunately my Patriots didn't win. However, last year in 51, they did win. And they won in quite a dramatic fashion. And at one stage, they were down by 25 points. Now, 25 points in American football is best case scenario 4 possessions of the ball. So you can get a maximum of 8 points with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So it's 8 points, 3/8 is 24, and you still need one more possession. You need to kick a field goal or get a safety to get that extra points. Now, not only were they down by 25 points, they were also down by 25 points with 3/4 of the game gone already. So time wasn't exactly on their side. And so, as you can see here, the factors are starting to pile up. Quite a big deficit to overcome. Quite a short time frame to do it in. And also, they had to stop the Falcons, so the other team, they had to stop the Falcons from scoring again and either maintaining their lead or expanding on it. So the Patriots knew they weren't going to overcome the deficit in one big swoop. They weren't just going to do something and we cleared all 25 points. It was going to take multiple plays, multiple scores, multiple tackles, and because of the short time frame they had, they knew they had such little room for error. And there's 2 things I want to touch on here. The first one, and the main one being, is that whatever deficit or whatever gap you're facing when it comes to your goals, you're most likely not going to overcome it in one action or in one day. It's going to be meal after meal after meal. Training session after training session after training session. Meditation after meditation after meditation. Day by day, week by week, month by month. And it's the consistency of it, of turning up and doing your level best, that will give you the ability or will help close that gap then as well. So because the Patriots knew, in their case, to use the football example, they knew they had to go one play at a time, one run at a time, one pass at a time, one tackle at a time, one block at a time. They had to just stay on top of every little element of it, and they couldn't really afford to keep going with it too much. So the oftentimes what you see is a son of a bitch. And we're back, I hope. Anyways, right, so we're going to cut this one real short again because clearly my phone holder's not working. There we go. Right, so the moral of the story is here. When you're faced with seemingly insurmountable odds, or odds that you're just not going to be able to overcome, take your time, catch your breath, settle yourself. Just worry about what's directly in front of you. If you feel you're not getting too many good meals, just worry about your next meal. Get the next meal better, and that's fine. If you're not if you're not exercising enough, just take today, exercise as well as you can, do a little, and then worry about tomorrow when it comes. And slowly by slowly, pound by pound, inch by inch, centimetre after centimetre, kilogram after kilogram, dress size after dress size, you start to turn the tide. Because so many of us, when we're faced with a big challenge or a big hurdle or a big gap between where we are and where we want to be, we start making really shitty decisions. We start panicking. We end up kind of embracing fear and just being like, oh no, I'm too afraid to do anything. As opposed to saying, no, okay, well, because we feel that, doing something small isn't worth doing at all. And if anything, that's the absolute opposite of it. Doing something small is absolutely the way to go and do it, to stay on track and to keep yourself kind of moving forward. You're not going to make these big leaping jumps of progress as you go along, okay? But you can absolutely chop away at your goal piece by piece by piece. And yeah, it's going to take a couple of weeks, it's going to take a couple of months, but the bigger the goal, kind of the more you got to work at it. And that's the cold hard truth. No crash diet, no, like I said, if we end up, kind of most people kind of 2, 4, 6 weeks out from like a wedding or a holiday or something like that, then as well, they start to panic and they're like, oh shit, I'm not in shape, or I'm not looking how I want to look, and I'm going to bust my ass for 6 weeks, I'm going to starve myself for 6 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever they end up doing. I'm going to drink all these magical teas and magical powders, and I'm not going to eat a meal, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to train twice a day. Sure, you might, maybe, possibly change the scales. You might drop weight. Now notice the word I used there was weight. You might not drop fat. You'll probably drop weight, water weight, and glycogen stores, and things like that. And sure, you'll fit into the dress a little bit. And sure, you might look decent for a couple of pictures on the holidays. But when you come back, when that event comes and goes, you've not done anything but make the situation worse. You've not changed your habits. You've reinforced your bad habits. You cut every corner out there. Now, hey, look, this is, I understand. I've been there. I've tried cut corners before to get to a goal, and it doesn't work. So that's why I'm saying you can overturn. And much like the Patriots in the Super Bowl, there was no shortcut to overcome that 25-point gap. There wasn't a magic play that when they did it, they pulled it off, they got 25 points, problem solved. And the same goes for you and I. The goals we're trying to achieve with our health and our nutrition, our mindset, our habits, our lifestyle, okay? None of them can be changed. There's no magic click of the fingers, despite what everyone on Instagram and Facebook may be trying to sell you to believe, okay? It's consistent hard work, little by little by little, as you go along. Alright folks, gonna wrap it there. I will talk to you tomorrow in episode 70. Take care, God bless, I'll see you soon.